Thank you so much for taking the time to check out this week's Moon Scoop video. We'll be taking a look at the Taurus new moon exact on May the 4th. For those of you who are new to this channel, my name is Ryver. I'm the intersectional astrologer and Reiki master of Psyche and Soul Astrology. It's my personal mission to help you remain grounded and empowered while you accelerate your growth. And to do that, each week I create a Moon Scoop or an armchair astrology video looking at some of the upcoming astrological transits and giving you some practical tips at the end of each video for harnessing that energy and really bringing that into your life in a tangible way. So I'm gonna keep up with last week's switch up with things. I'm not gonna put up the chart until the end of this video, really just focus on breaking down a few of the things that are going on in the simplest English that I can and bringing you to that tangible takeaway at the end of the video. So let's jump in. For this Taurus new moon, as with all new moons, it's a really fantastic opportunity to set some intentions for new things to manifest over the course of the next month, especially those things that might take about a month to come into fruition. A simple way to think about this, and I'll try to use this same analogy throughout the video, is to think about it like gardening. If you have a landscaping project, you're going to want to lay out what it is you're doing first, right? And you know that might take you a week or so to get all of the materials that you need, lay out your plot, do whatever you got to do to the earth. If we're thinking Taurus time, it's a good time to think about tilling of the earth in general. And then it might take another week or two or three for those plants to take root and really get to growing. So this Taurus new moon time and this whole Taurus moon cycle is a really fantastic time to set some intentions for things that you would like to bring in over the course of the next month. Now, because the sign Taurus is related to physical, tangible resources like food is the big one. Money in our modern society is the simplest resource for getting you all of the things you might need. This particular new moon is a great time for setting some intentions around gathering the resources that you need for your own personal development, growth, fulfillment, all of those things. Now, with the last new moon being in the sign of Aries, and that kind of being like the moon cycle equivalent of a new year, we're sort of in month 2, if you want to think about it that way. We'll get 12 new moons, one in each sign, over the course of a year. And with this being the second one, it's a good time for building upon whatever success, whatever you've manifested over the course of the previous month. And so you can really do this one of two ways. If you're new to new moon intention settings, no pun intended, then I highly recommend just focusing on this month. Is there a certain financial goal you want to hit? Do you want to save a certain amount of money? Do you want to eat more fruits and veggies? Because the moon is waxing, is a good time for calling in something that you want more of. Whereas from the full moon onwards, as the moon is waning, it's a good time for setting some intentions around ridding yourself of some things, just like the moon rids herself of some light. So that's the kind of literal metaphor you want to think about when considering these moon phases. So with it being a new moon phase, the moon and the sun both in the sign of Taurus, we know that they are going to be ruled by Venus. And so that brings in another layer of values, resources, and also money indications. So for those of you who are looking to grow your income this year, to save some more money, to hit some big resource-oriented goals, this is the number one new moon phase for setting intentions around bringing in a new job, bringing in more physical health from, consuming more fruits and veggies, and also just making more money. Now, a few other things that we can look at with this particular new moon, and again, I'll show you the chart at the end of the video so you can kind of look at it in a little more depth, just pause it and see where the different planets are activating your own personal chart. And if you would like or you need help in determining what's going on with your own birth chart and how this new moon activates your chart, I am available for private sessions. You just want to use that link down below in the description box to schedule a session, and we can take a look at how you can most advantageously utilize the energies present this month. So some of the other things that we're going to want to look at for this particular moon cycle before I get into that tangible takeaway is that we've got a few different things going on. Venus is still in the sign of Aries when we experience this new moon. And Venus in Aries is pleasure seeking through adventure, through spontaneous action, anything that requires a little bit of bravery. So if you've got any sort of like, you've always wanted to boulder and you've never done that, this is a good time to call in physical fitness, right? Because physical energy is in and of itself a resource, to call that in through some sort of adventurous activity. And we can also consider that Taurus is one of the more practical, tangible signs in the zodiac. It is an earth sign, of course, so you get practical, tangible there. And it's also a fixed sign. It's really steady and stable. So it's a good time to call in any sort of activities that would help you stabilize your foundation, strengthen the physical body, and of course, strengthen your pocketbooks. The way that I've kind of thought about this in terms of like a simple statement or a simple sentence is sowing the seeds, or sowing seeds for intention of growth, right? And when we're looking at our growth intentions, we always want to consider, both in our own personal charts and what's going on in the sky, you know, like I said before, whether or not the moon is gathering light or getting rid of light. And since we're at a new moon, we have the most amount of potential for gaining and accruing and amassing more and new things. And it's also going to be stuff that has to do with value, not just in the sense of material values, but also our internal values. And that's something that I'll talk a bit more about in the next two videos, where we're looking at the first quarter moon phase and the full moon phase. But with this new moon phase, the big thing that we really want to think about is that Mercury still has a lot to do with what's going on. We're processing the previous Mercury retrograde still, although now we've got the information and the new plans in, and we're really moving ahead. Mercury's ruling quite a few things in this chart, namely the rising sign, which is Virgo. And if you've been following these videos for a while, then you've probably heard me say a lot, we always want to start with the rising sign, because the ruler of the rising sign also rules the chart as a whole. And so it gives us an indication of what the overall tone or vibe is of the particular transit that we're looking at, in this case, a new moon. And so with Mercury, the planet of communication, exchange, Mercury, that name itself has the roots for things like mercantile and merchandise, and merchants even. And so we want to think about Mercury as having to do with the exchange, with the communication, with the interrelationships that have to do with gathering resources or sharing resources or selling them, all things that lead to more monetary success, bringing in money, bringing in the resources that we need. And with Mercury ruling Virgo on the rising sign as opposed to Gemini, that Virgo has a lot to do with discernment, has a lot to do with determining what is the best strategy, determining what is the best process for moving forward. Mercury is also ruling that midheaven. So again, if you're a little new to astrology, definitely take a look at that chart if you're looking to learn some more details and some more techniques for astrology, because it can help you kind of figure out how to look at your own chart and how to look at transit charts for your own benefit. With Mercury ruling Gemini on the midheaven and Virgo on the rising sign, what we've got is a situation where we're really learning to discern what needs to be done in order to manifest the things that we're calling in. That's the big takeaway. So if last month you called in a new career or a new partner for some sort of creative project that you've got going on, or if you were using those tangible takeaways and really working with who is showing up to help you fulfill your own personal mission and how you can show up to help others fulfill their personal missions, then this moon cycle, where we start with that Taurus new moon and head to a Scorpio full moon and so on, is going to be a really important time to consider what is the best process to engage with in order to get to that goal. So if your goal is to, start a new business, that's what you were calling in with that Aries new moon, and now you want to call in some real solid foundation and the financial resources that you need, or the material resources you need to do the work. If you are, if you're a painter and you want to sell your paintings, you're probably going to need some more canvas and some more paint if you're going to do that in a way that scales up, in a way that provides an actual business platform for yourself. And so this is a good moon to really consider, what resources do I need to be able to do the work that I am excited about? and how do I go about gathering those resources? And I think I'm actually going to leave it there. There's a lot more we could unpack with this chart, but I'm going to, still in the phase of trying some new things, I'm going to post for you a little longer blog post about what's going on there, some of the finer points, and include a few indications of what you could best call in depending on where this new moon is landing in your chart. So with that, I will give you the tangible takeaway, and I'll be sure to drop a link in the description box for the specific blog post that goes along with this video. And your tangible takeaway this week is an Astro Challenge of the week, to identify what your manifestation goal is and what resources you need in order to fulfill them. So like I said, if you are calling in a thriving practice as an artist and your medium is paint, then figure out, besides canvas and paint, what do I need to make this work as a business, and how can I go about getting those resources? As always, if you have any questions, if you'd like to share your answer or what you are doing with this Astro Challenge and with the tangible takeaways, please feel free to drop a little something in the comment section below. And if you would like to receive more information about how you can interact with the astrology energies present, drop down to the description box once again and subscribe to my monthly newsletter. I always include a little horoscope and oftentimes include deals for private services, in addition to announcements about upcoming events. If you like this video and you would like to see more like it, be sure to smash on that subscribe button down in the corner. Ring the notification bell if you would like to be informed every time a new video is released. And until we meet again, much love and many blessings to you.